All right, welcome to the Meat Dudes. I'm Evan.
I'm Tyler.
And today, oh my gosh, we are joined by two experts in the Wagyu industry, and we're so excited to have this roundtable today. So, first one is our good buddy Yuta Abe, who was on the last podcast from Japan, a Wagyu tour guide and interpreter, and will take you all along to these Wagyu tours, show you the culinary side, introduce you to farmers, interpret the whole thing for you. What an amazing human being, here to talk about the Japan Wagyu, the Japanese Wagyu. How are you doing, Yuta?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah.
Good. And we also have our resident Australian expert from 4C Consultancy, Miss Jessie Chiconi. She is an honorary meat dude, absolutely, probably more of a meat dude than me and Tyler put together.
Aussie.
How are you doing, Miss Jessie Chiconi?
I'm absolutely marvelous. Like this week or 5 days, I think it's been, has been the most exhausting, but revolutionary experience of my entire life. I'm going home today, flying back to Australia today, and I really don't want to. If I ever go missing, you'll find me here.
We'll know where to find you. Well, let's jump into it. I love that so much. So, Jessie, you have been touring with Yuta in Japan. You actually are in Japan. You're from Australia. You've been all around. You know so much about Wagyu. But what has really surprised you the most after seeing Japanese Wagyu beef in person?
I don't even really know where to start. I think it's almost become, and I've been thinking about this, how to actually answer a question like that. It's probably more so the fact that, to me, what it all boils down to is the culture. And it's something that I've always been taught, and what I've tried to resonate with in my life is that you can never understand your future if you don't know your history. And so what I've found over here is it's not so much the cattle. The cattle are incredible, and they're totally different to what I've ever seen in Australia or America. Much larger, better phenotypically. They're amazing, and obviously the genetics that we're working with are 30 years old. Quite obsolete, in all honesty, compared to what's here. But they're different cattle. But the thing that I love about this is it's not so much the cattle; it's the dedication and precision, and to be such perfectionists in simplicity. That's the thing that I love. And it's not something that I thought what I was going to experience. It was not what I thought was going to happen here. And it's not so much the cattle, it's the people.
What was the first thing that you saw in the cattle that made you have a different perception of said Australian Wagyu and American Wagyu?
So
size, structure.
Yeah. So physically speaking, to view the animal, way more leg, so much higher. They're very tall cattle compared to Australia and America. The birth weights are nearly 20 kilos heavier than what we're experiencing. So the growth, a lot of people have this conception about Wagyu in Australia or America, that they're quite small cattle and they take a long time to grow. Not here. This is huge. They are very, very large animals.
Really? So why
harvest time is different?
Oh, what? Sorry.
Harvest time is different.
Depends on the operation.
Depends on the brand.
Yeah.
In Hokkaido, farmers do want to have a big operation and sort of harvest them as early as possible. So around 29th month or so, they harvest. But the Kobe beef and all these brand beefs, put them into the feedlot up to like 60 months. They just go way over. It just depends on the brand definition, which I talked about with you, Evan. There's a brand book. They define the program, and according to the program, they harvest.
And I found that very interesting because, when you think about Japanese Wagyu, you think about A5, and is it how much better can it get? It looks the same. It's just crazy marbled Wagyu beef, but it's not, right? Just like in the United States, just like in Australia, there's different brands, there's different boutiques of ranches and feeding styles, and so what are you seeing over there, Jessie, that is different with how they're being raised that maybe you didn't understand before you went over there?
It has been interesting. I've always been aware of the fact that you take your calves off at a very young age, hours old. That to me has been a very interesting experience to look at that. What I've seen probably in the feeding as such. So I'm very big in understanding rumination in cattle and how that gut process works. And so what I've seen over here that I find very, very interesting is that the hay that they're feeding to their cattle is not chaffed or cut down into like matchstick pieces. It's long, and that's what I like. Like they leave it in full length, like a straw as such, let alone the rice straw. That was incredible in itself. But the full length of the straw of grass, because when they're using their tongues to be able to eat it, that's what's creating the saliva for them to be able to digest that and chew that and put it down into their stomach. Then that saliva then reacts with their gut rumen to be able to digest it better. But also the fact is that they're almost like glycemic index cattle. They like really high starch, really long, complex carbohydrates to keep them going.
Sugar.
Yeah. And that's their physiology. That's what they were designed for. And because they've grown up for so long, centuries on rice, hey, that was a big standout to me. And to even see the straw, like the stalk, and then see inside it how that stalk is actually comprised, like it almost looks like marbling.
I saw some photos he sent over. Yuta sent me some over. Yeah. So, Yuta, what did you want? Knowing that Jessie, who is an expert in Wagyu in Australia, knows so many people in the United States and Canada, what did you want her to see? What did you really want to show her? Where have you been taking her in Japan to really give her everything that she needs to know?
Oh, I can describe that in 2 words. Top level farmers.
Okay.
3 words. That's okay. Anyway, these top tier farmers. I'm not a farmer. I'm just an interpreter in the industry, and I'm making Wagyu tour guide, and throughout this year in the industry, I've accumulated so many smart Wagyu farmers that are just keen to welcome us and talk about things. And I just think these top tier farmers are just fantastic with their knowledge. And I'm basically just being a bridge between international farmers and local farmers. And I'm just leaving everything up to them. I have no idea what they would talk about on that visit. And
there's no agenda.
No, there's no agenda. I've never created an agenda. And, we just arrive to the farm and let that curiosity drive the conversation.
So where are you guys at right now? What city in Japan?
We are in Hokkaido, which is like kind of a belly button of Hokkaido. This is the agricultural mecca hub for crop farming, dairy farming, and Wagyu farming. Okay. And we have many machinery shows here. It's actually a very big agricultural hub.
Yeah. Wow. So what type?
Jealous.
Or what kind of brands of Wagyu are being raised? Because you were talking about different brands of Wagyu, and I think that's such an important thing to kind of rediscuss on this podcast. Because like I said, I kind of think of Japanese Wagyu as just being super marble, but like, how does that terroir and the different farmers and the farming practices kind of like create those different brands in Wagyu in Japan?
So there are many huge brands, ginormous brands, starting with Kobe beef, Omi beef, Matsusaka beef, which she ate on her birthday here. And there are many brands, but all the brands buy a lot of calf from Hokkaido. So the Hokkaido breeders actually produce so much baby Wagyus and ship them over there, and they put into the feedlot, and they put their value throughout the feed rotation. But anyway, in Hokkaido, there are many farmers who has their own brand. Some people make based on oleic acid content, and those were actually fantastic meat. She's in a couple of days before, so I let you answer that question.
Hold on. Can I ask you a quick question?
Mhm.
Jesse,
So
what is the single best bite
Oh yeah.
of beef you've had in Japan so far?
Yes.
Single best.
Give it to us.
Look at me. I'm pissed off right now.
What's the what cut?
in all honesty, it is so hard to answer that question. I think though, for everything that stands out, and don't get me wrong, like you guys know that I love exceptional food, high dining, fine dining, love that.
Yeah.
I think the most incredible experience I've had, don't get me, last night was I was in heaven. That's why I didn't wake up this morning. But there was a piece of Zab that I had here, and it was, I don't know, the way that was curated. It was a touch thicker than normally that we've been having yakakuni here. Is that correct? A little bit thicker. But what I found is when that piece of beef hit my tongue, it dissolved. Like there is no such thing as actually chewing. It sort of it just, I don't know, it just melted, it dissolved. But when you actually did go to chew it, I can still feel the sensation now that when it rubbed against your teeth, it squeaked. Like, it was so clean and so like your whole mouth was it was so silky, and it melted, and as soon as you swallowed it, it vanished. And it was almost like dopamine to get another bit into you. Like it was just that
was it seared or grilled or
grilled.
So yeah, it was a yakiniku restaurant, so we were grilling it on our own, and
charcoal?
we can prepare it in a perfect way we want, and we did both sides.
Okay, sorry.
It's that mouthful.
Sorry, that was a long sub question.
No, I mean I like that because like people want to know, like if the people are in the United States right now listening to this, what did it look like? What did that Zab look like? How was it? How did they bring it out to you? What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it's beautiful. Like, I mean, and don't get me wrong, Australia and America can still have marbling, probably not quite to that level. Like, I think it's more about the fineness. It's the we can achieve that, but it's the composition. It's the composition of the fat that is different, and that's what I've found fascinating. Is that what we're doing is a little behind, obviously, from what Japan's been able to genetically progress towards for fat content, fat flavor. It's just it's like nothing I've ever experienced ever.
Is it? I mean, because it's not just about the marbling. A lot of people think it's just the marbling. No, it's not. It's about the texture, the mouthfeel, like what you just explained, that it was dissolving. And that's where I think that there's a little bit of that difference between like American, Australian, and then the Japanese, is that we've seen amazing like A5 marbled American Wagyu, and it has been amazing. It's been wild. We've seen it. Yeah, absolutely. But I wonder how it would differ because of maybe the genetics in Japan, the tenderness. I wonder how it would be different, because it has to be different because of how it's been fed and how it's been raised and everything like that. But yeah,
and the longevity, I think, of the genetics. I mean, we're trying to compare apples and oranges and bananas.
And banana.
You know what I mean? Like the apples are in Japan and we have the bananas and Australia has the oranges or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I don't know.
well,
It's
looking at that meat though, looking at that zab on that day, at first glance, you can notice it's not the most marbled meat ever you will ever see. It's medium, like medium level of a marbling. It's not like super pinky. In fact, it's a little bit more purplish,
It is. Yeah,
we could
correct.
say.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the genetics and yeah, as she said, fineness of the
Yeah.
meat is actually creating the umami and flavor, which was explained by the owner meticulously. So yeah, again, we can't disclose everything on the show. If anybody's interested in coming over, join my tour.
They're gonna show. Yeah, we're gonna send them. We're gonna send them to you, Yuta. You're gonna take them on those tours, man.
We're also talking
I will
about
be
a
there every
specific,
time.
we're also talking about a specific cut, right? The
Mhm.
Denver, the zabuton out of the shoulder
Yeah.
is going to have a completely different muscle cluster, fat cluster than everybody looks at ribeyes in New York's or whatever. Of this is what Wagyu is like. That's what beef is.
It's
It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Everybody judges their beef by the center cut and the rib at 7, whatever, in the New York, whatever. Like, no, we're talking about one of the most, our favorite cuts in the whole world is the zabuton. I love the zabuton because it has that muscle structure. It's like the perfect marriage of
seriously.
fat and muscle cluster for me. Anyway, that's
100%.
my
And that-
my.
and-
100% agree.
100%, and that's it. Like, and the whole time I've been here, I have not had one sirloin or eye fillet or anything. Like it's
Yeah, everything.
like the tri-tip. Tri-tip was amazing.
And a room.
Don't get Evan started. Don't get Evan started on a tri-tip. He just kicked a
bro.
tri-tip the other night. He was just like, "Oh my god, I fucking killed it." That was it.
Rumen, that was the thing that I absolutely loved. It was almost like a palate cleanser.
The what?
Rumen, like the stomach. It's like, I don't know how you explain it. It's sort of like really
What?
chewy chicken.
What? I need that in my life. I don't know what that is. I need that in my
It's
life.
just part of the cow's stomach. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
we've been eating offal and like
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. Like I have not had over here anything that's a Western cut as such. There's no West, like I haven't experienced that. I've experienced all these amazing ways of Japanese production and their processing methods. And exactly the reasoning is because this is why Wagyu were designed. This is how you eat Wagyu.
Yeah, and right, it is different because of the quality, the marbling. Right, you're not pulling out 16-ounce ribeyes and slapping them on the plate, right? Because that would just be insane. That's just way too much. Like you can't finish that, right? So how has it been prepared for you that has been different from your experiences in the United States and Australia when we were in Japan?
Great question. We've had a couple of different things, haven't we? Like, I mean, my birthday night, what was the name of that?
That was a sukiyaki dish.
Sukiyaki. That was incredible. Paper thin, like those pieces of beef were huge pieces, but they were paper thin almost.
Paper thin.
And the marbling, I've never seen marbling like that. It was more intramuscular fat than there was. Just
Excited.
But the way it was prepared was sort of like with that is it the dashi broth, and all the different vegetables and enoki mushrooms and the noodles, to have all of that in like a hot pot together with that, and it kept getting better and better as the longer it went on because of that fat composition and how it was going throughout the amazing because of the meat.
You're killing me.
Oh mate, this is incredible. Don't get me started on last night. What do we have, like 12 12 dishes last night. They were like bite size.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
like, like a Wagyu omakase.
Well, yeah, it's an omakase style, but this is a buddy of mine who has a restaurant. It's actually rated number one restaurant in our town. Anyway, he does a like French style cooking. It's a bistro, but he takes this organic, natural fed wagyu or calved cattle, mangarika pork from Hungary, and all different cuts. And yeah, we enjoyed it. How he keeps his meat in his aging refrigerator. Oh yeah, we can do another episode.
that how he keeps his meat and his the cloths and all that sort of thing. Oh my goodness, the science involved in that about the how to manage quality of a fresh product from processing to plate.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an hour at minimum to talk about that.
Oh man. Well, let's get back to some of the basic stuff because I want to ask, what would you tell someone that is going to travel over there to Japan right now? What's the one thing that they have to do in the Wagyu industry, Jessie? Like what is one thing that they cannot miss besides the tour with Yuta? What is one thing you would tell them? Get off the plane and do this.
It's gonna take you by surprise, but the most important thing I believe when you get off a tour, get off the plane, come here to go and visit Wagyu, is that spa bath.
Going to the hot spring.
The hot spring.
That's the first thing she recommended.
Oh wow, getting the body prepped for Wagyu.
But it's almost it's about getting into the right mindset as such, because it's. And it was not something that we had actually designed for this trip. It was just a off the cuff thing. We went to this hot springs, but what I experienced there was to be able to understand that Japanese culture as such. Like you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable. You're naked with women around you, sort of thing, or men in separated, segregated sort of stuff, but. To get into that water, I don't believe it's actually water. It's almost like a living thing. And to sit there and experience the fact that I became effervescent, like bubbles. I became my own bath bomb. Like I don't know what it is, whether I've got so many toxins in my system or what it is.
It's all those whiskey sours, dude.
The whiskey sours. But to sit there and the level of quiet and respect and I don't know what it was in that water, that essentially was what actually probably awoke me to be able to understand and absorb as much as I've been able to here. And it has been a very, very heavy tour. We've had we were exhausted yesterday morning, weren't we? Like just it was getting to a point I don't know whether I can handle much more actually. But if I hadn't have gone to that hot springs, I don't think I would have been able to cognitively understand what I've experienced here.
Wow.
I'm putting that on my checklist right now. First thing, hot springs.
I haven't ever seen Jessie be so, speechless, and it's cool because, we've known you, we've hung out with you a bunch. We know you're such a big expert. And then coming to Japan and seeing all this stuff, that's pretty cool to hear about this experience, and I'm just really fascinated about you're speaking differently about Wagyu, like something's been unlocked, And
For sure.
That's a good point.
It's
sure.
It's cool because Jessie. For people who don't know Jessie and didn't listen to our previous podcast with her, she knows a lot. Like she's a freaking expert on Wagyu beef, and this.
We call her the queen of Australian Wagyu.
She has been.
You know what? She's the queen, and almost the biggest nerd. So on the first day we arrived, we actually did a barbecue with my family, and I had several different cuts of Wagyu, and we started grilling. And I was just looking at the label and translated the cuts, where that is. And I think I was making a mistake. Which one was which?
Yeah.
And she took a bite, and is this really tried to? It gets more like that cut.
It's more
Really?
aggressive. and that's what you keep saying. It's like the palate that I have can taste the different fat flavors per part of the animal, sort of thing. And I didn't actually recognize that I could do that, but
Does it look different?
Yuta, that's not going to be the first time you get called out by Jessie. Okay, just get
she's gonna get you. But like, you know, let's talk about Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu. Like, does it look different to you? Like, what are those differences in how it looks and how it tastes, in just like how it feels? Like, what are some of those differences that you really noticed?
Good question. I've seen so many varying levels here as well too, which is what we're trying to understand as well, is that consumers actually don't really want that exceptionally high marbled beef anymore. And some of it's absolutely amazing. There has been bits and pieces that I've had that didn't meet what I thought it, like visually looking at it and what it actually tasted like, didn't actually meet my expectations. What I've found though is that there has been like a beautiful meat we had not last night, the night before. I've never seen marbling like that. The level of fineness in that is not something that Australia or America, I believe, will ever be able to achieve. I don't think the genetic capacity is there to be able to do that. There's so much to dive into, like from a visual analysis of looking at the beef versus how it actually hits your tongue. There's way more consistency here, and I think this is an amazing part about Japanese culture. Again, is everything is so exceptionally high standard. And they're such perfectionists, and to the point, even like yesterday, we were talking to that lovely lady about the children now are becoming so in Japan are becoming so spoiled that they're actually they don't want to, if they don't like it, they just won't eat it, and so they're having a food wastage issue.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. So we're trying to educate generations of how the following generations on how to actually consume food, because they're so used to such an exceptionally high standard.
Yeah.
Can I ask a silly question? And this might be a really stupid question, but when we're in the United States and Australia, we talk about our crosses. We talk about F1 crosses and purebred and full blood and all that. In Japan, and because of all the radical genetics that is there, are there crosses? Are there black and red crosses? Are there like is it as much as we're trying to do over here to keep up with Japan? In Japan, are there crosses like that are like crazy genetically different from the original genetics of, like, say, just the black cow?
Well, speaking of just full blood F1 and talking about cross, what are the possibilities for the crosses? So we have full blood. We actually didn't have a chance to give her F1, which is almost almost Japanese black and Holstein cross over here.
Okay.
And hey, Yuta, what do you guys call F1 over there?
We call it cross.
You call it cross?
We cannot have Wagyu.
No percentage, it's just cross.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a full blood.
Yeah.
There's a cross, and there's a beef. So
And there's a
Holstein meats, yeah, Angus, those are meat. Yeah,
Okay.
beef.
Got it.
But anyway, we don't have like F2, F3s and stuff like that. We just have such high genetics of full blood Wagyu. People just AI into the Holstein cattle and make F1. So there's really full blood F1 and Holstein, Angus, Aussie beef, etc.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's and I think, like Jessie, you were saying, and Yuta, about people, like the demographics don't want to eat the crazy marble beef all the time, right? But it's so funny because that's what we think. That's like what Americans think. We're like, oh, Japan, you just get crazy marble beef and that's it. But like there is F1 over there. There is, great intermuscular marbling, but it's not overwhelming all the time because people just can't eat that all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly. And in this itinerary, I actually scheduled a visit with F1 brand farmer, and because of the weather, the hay baling work was delayed and delayed, and actually we couldn't get there. But he creates such a beautiful F1 beef. He ships it to very famous Tokyo restaurant. In fact, several of restaurants in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And my wife loves F1 steak over full blood. And for yakiniku, I love full blood. But yeah, for like good amount of steak, like 180 grams, F1 is perfect.
The best.
I'm glad you said that.
Mhm.
It's funny because I talk to a lot of American ranchers, and we're creating this Meat Dudes approved Wagyu map where we're tasting Wagyu from all over the U.S. And there's a lot of full blood ranchers out there, and then there's a lot of F1, and it's funny to me sometimes. I'm not funny, but some of them are like, "You guys, will you accept F1?" I'm like, "Yes." Like F1 is really good. Like it's better than anyone's beef out there that anyone's ever bought before. Like most of the general public, right? Like it's what the Americans want to eat. It is a more of a marbled steak, and it's not going to be as wildly marbled as a full blood, which is awesome too. But we are trying to create something like I believe in my heart that there's a piece of Wagyu for everyone in the world, whether it's
Sure.
F1 to full blood to Akaushi to Japanese black to a bavette to a ribeye to osabuco. Like people can find their Wagyu, and that's why I love having conversations with you guys, because we learn that like it's not just about one thing, right? Like Jessie's trying so many different things over there, and like I mean, it's a spectrum, as we keep saying. Wagyu is a spectrum, and I want to keep educating the world about it being a spectrum.
And do you know the other beautiful part of all of that? That's exactly perfect what you just said, Evan. The beautiful part about it is that as we age, grow, our consumer satisfaction is going to change over time. Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm experiencing now. That there are some bits and pieces that I'm finding are actually too much for me now. There's too much. Yeah. I want to back it off.
For sure.
So it's so interesting that then say for instance my father, who's in his 70s, he wants something completely different. My kids can eat so much heavy marbled beef. It's amazing. I can't eat what they do. But I think that's the thing, is also understanding what you want at your age, what your palate requires, what it develops and diversifies over time.
Yes,
and on occasion too, right? Like, special occasions, you got champagne caviar A5.
Yeah.
Right. But on those of us that are beef connoisseurs and want to eat beef as much as we can every day if we can, it's funny you should say that, because we were just at Bar R for the symposium and the auction, and we were speaking, and I actually had to say to Jerry, I was like, "Hey man, listen, I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but your full blood ribeye is too rich. I can't agree with it, man. I really want the F1 or the purebred." And I just I don't know, kind of basically.
But I think that's been an interesting part of this tour as well too, is that we're learning so much about the in-depth science and knowledge on how to the oleoalic acids, the amino acids, how that's being created for one. Even that there was a point there that we were talking that the fineness and the oxidization as the meat's being cooked, that the fineness is just, while it's melting and distributing, that's cutting through the oleoalic and oleoalic acids capacity to create those amino acids for that flavor. Yeah. The science in itself is incredible, let alone being able to effectively perfect that. Takes generations. That's why
we have so much just data, compositional analysis available in my office. So if you ever want to see it, again, Wagyu farmers, culinary folks, join our tour. The one thing I would like to add on what you guys said about which cuts, is it full blood or is it F1? Are we eating F1? So we went to this big feedlot in my hometown, and he actually has over 4,000 heads, and he has 3 different breeds. He's got Holstein, F1, and full blood. Okay. Now, 10 years ago, he used to have 1/3 of the cattle as Holstein, another 1/3 F1, another 1/3 full blood. But if the market changes, the carcass prices on full blood and F1 changes, he changes ratios.
Yeah,
Now
right.
he has half the farm that are F1 and 25% Holstein and 25% full blood. So based on the, just the data, consumption data, these big feeder owners can just adjust number of cattle, and that's how they, of course, maximize profit as a farmer.
It's
And
still a
now
business, right?
half of them are F1s.
It's still a business, right?
Yeah. That's what the people want,
Right.
and that's like making Wagyu for the people, not growing Wagyu for because you
It's
want
like
to have the most
growing.
marbles out there, right? Yeah,
Right.
it's not. You don't need it. We don't need that. We want people to eat it at the end of the day.
I like to use the restaurant analogy of, Michelin-starred restaurants. Unless you're a gajillionaire, you don't eat that every day.
No,
But those experiences are that.
they're amazing.
And everybody that wants to be experiencing good beef, we're in the middle. And that's what I think that's just like almost feels a little bit worldly now that we all understand that I think the F1 is just the best.
It's just, I mean, Wagyu. It's just better beef.
It's just the best.
Well, exactly that. That's the point that needs to be made. It's not. It's about Wagyu accentuates everything.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I don't actually care. There's been people say to me, I'd love to do a Wagyu Charolais cross. I love that. I think that have that eye muscle area, and because I came from a Charolais background, have a really high Tajma bull, Wagyu full blood bull over a Charolais. I think you're accentuating the eye muscle capacity of the Charolais and infiltrating that with the marbling. That to me is beautiful. But I also don't care whether it's a Dexter or a Highland cow. It doesn't matter what breed it is. Wagyu will make it better.
Yes.
I love you. I love it. I want to hop into the conversation about. You kind of mentioned it, Jessie, about the health benefits, and I want to understand maybe in Japan how are the health benefits talked about in Japan? Because in the U.S., especially in the Wagyu industry, we all talk about it as being very high in oleic acid and it's very good for you. It's a heart healthy beef. Is it the same conversation in Japan? Are you seeing that, Yuta and Jessie?
So much deeper.
No, well, in general, people don't talk about a lot of benefits from beef or protein. We generally eat a lot less protein compared to your market, and rather we talk about let's eat more fish, let's eat more vegetables. That is 80% of the population, and the rest of the 20% are the meat fanatics. And we always talk about beef, pork, chicken, and I mean health benefits here that we have the data on. Yeah, it's through the roof. It's interesting information.
Even what we were saying too, like being very, very heavy tour that we've had, and I actually feel a little bit sorry for you. So you doing the translating and the asking questions and all that sort of thing. It's been hard on you. But in all honesty, I actually believe that the beef that we've been eating has helped us be able to do that as well too, because like you can almost feel it in the space of 20 minutes after a meal that your cognitive functions are better, and the systematic thinking is better. Like I feel like I've increased in my IQ since I've been here. Like it's just incredible.
Yeah, and I agree with you. To prove my point on cognition, Wagyu is a cognitive food. So I do these tours, and sometimes I have 3 tours, 4 tours a month, and sometimes I don't have a tour in a whole month. And then in those slow months, I just miss Wagyu. Like I gotta go back and have Wagyu. So it's really it's not really addictive, but you feel that when you're not eating those,
You're depleted.
Yeah, you feel depleted, and you just want to go and get more cognitive food into your system.
I'm all about it, man. We just got our meat shop back open. It was shut down for about 8 months because we're transitioning it from one restaurant to the other. And I was like, man, I miss having all this awesome beef. Like we bring in Wagyu from all over, and so luckily we're doing this map, so we get to taste a lot of beef from all over the U.S. But it's nice to. You're right. It's nice to have like just really good beef. It does make you feel different. It does make me feel better and feel different, and it is a good protein. And I know we've gotten crazy into the health benefits, and we're going to hopefully go down to the World Wagyu Council, and they are very big on the health benefits and putting together some real documentation about the health benefits and getting that out there. So that's going to be in South Africa in October, and I think we might be hopefully heading down there. I'm not sure. So
That's
Let's go.
No. This October, you're coming to Japan. I'm sorry.
Man, I just have to just boop.
We're just gonna circle around the world. It's all good.
We're just gonna
Just,
do it.
just circumnavigate it. No, I was actually talking to Waldo the other day from South Africa, and he asked me, he said, "You come over for the World Wagyu conference?" And I said, "I can't. I'm going to be in Japan." So
Sorry.
yeah.
Well, I want to talk. Maybe I'm really excited. I think there's 4 of us here that all have, expertise in Wagyu in different areas. So I kind of want to ask the question, with the 4 of us being here in probably the 3 biggest Wagyu producing countries in the world, what is one thing you think each country does exceptionally well? And we'll start with you, Jessie, from Australia.
That's a really good question. Okay.
Oh boy, here we go. She's got to choose sides now, Evan.
I know, I'm putting you back in Australia.
I will never choose sides because it's a global.
Wagyu's for everyone. Wagyu's for everyone.
Yes. Okay, so from my mind, I think Australia is exceptional at data collection and large scale commerciability and consistency. I think they're very, very good at that. In America, I feel America is probably more focused on that niche market, their own brand recognition, getting to a point, I suppose, also the terroir, as you guys are saying, understanding that different types of levels of country and how that affects that meat quality, or not affect or enhance it. Japan is not in comparison. It's next level. I think Japan has so much generational knowledge, and obviously understanding the history and the physiology of Wagyu. To have a gentleman that I spoke to a couple of days ago saying that he's going to change the bone structure of his cattle, the bone structure of them, to be able to reduce the carcass weight by 50 kilograms, but maintain the same retail yield percentage. Through genetics, but still maintain it so that he doesn't have to spend as much money on commodities and time in the feedlot.
What?
It's too big. I think that's where Japan has so much more brilliance in understanding the cattle themselves. Yeah.
That statement is blowing my mind.
That's crazy.
It's blowing my mind. I'm like, I'm having a hard time even comprehending that. How does that work?
But I think you brought up some really good points, talking about Australia and large scale growing. And that's why you're seeing different things in Australia and the United States and in Japan because of the different terroirs, the different land, right? I mean, there probably aren't as many farmers in Japan that are raising the amount of cattle that they are in Australia. Am I being correct there? So maybe is that why the fineness maybe is a little bit more controlled in Japan?
Because they're so intricate with every stage of production. That's what I love. They're perfectionists in every stage of production. Whereas Australia, probably we're more so about the numbers because that's what's going to create more financial benefit, sort of thing. It's not so much about the beast or the cow itself. It's about a business model. Whereas this is all about the cattle.
Well, when you hold the driver's license to the original Ferrari, there's a lot of things you can do, right? I mean, genetics is just so freaking superior, and we're just trying to keep up,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we will never keep up. It's not.
I know.
It's just different. I think it's just different, right? Like I like what you said about US. It is very boutique-y, like you said, very brand focused, because the US is such a unique geography, from the southeast Florida to the northwest Washington, and what we feed our cattle, and the different terroirs, the different grasses, the different feeds, the different climates. There's so many different places to raise these cattle, and it is boutique-y. That's why I like what we're doing, and I like American Wagyu, because of you can really find what you're looking for. I want something that's a little more grassy. Maybe I go down to Georgia and in Florida. I want something that's barley raised. Okay, well maybe I'll check out here in Eastern Washington. But it is very boutique-y. I think you're totally right with that, and I think that's kind of a cool thing.
Evan and I are trying to become like American Wagyu sommeliers.
Basically, yeah.
Really, honestly, and like as silly as it sounds, like
we are becoming American Wagyu sommeliers.
We've tried what, I don't know, 20 different ranches from all over the nation. We've cooked the exact same way, prepared the same way, salt only, tasted them, and it's really, really mind-blowing how different each one of them tastes. And you can actually, like, if we were to do a blind tasting right now, you could we could almost tell, like, oh, that's going to be from Texas, that's from Florida, that's from Kansas. Like, we're getting to be that point where it's so interesting, just the agriculture and the way these animals are fed and raised. It's really quite interesting.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
I love
But
it.
it's like,
This is it. This is being meat nerds. Like,
Yeah, we're nerds. We're dorks. Yeah.
It's about, and there's not too many people that will ever understand that. And I think, and it's a tragedy that they don't get to experience that. But that's why the passion that we have as between yourselves and ourselves, sort of thing. That's why we have to try and keep educating and lifting the bar higher and higher.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
yes. So you guys are in Hokkaido, right?
Correct.
And so Yuta, that's a very special place for you, and there's something pretty cool happening there next year, right? What's going on next year?
Yes, so what's called the Wagyu Olympic. In our language, we call it Zenkyo, which happens every 5 years, and every time the venue rotates to different prefectures. But anyway, next year we have the Zenkyo in August. That's taking place in my hometown, Obihiro, Hokkaido.
What date is it in August? Because that's my birthday month, so that'd be kind of a really cool birthday present. I'm just like,
It's from August 26th to 31st.
Oh,
I'm the
nice.
30th. I'm the 30th.
My daughter is the 31st. Yeah.
Happy birthday to me.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So Zenkyo is just ginormous event. I attended the
What goes
last
on there?
Zenkyo in 2022. It's just it's a genetic improvement show and a carcass auction. There's always 2 venues, and show goes on for 5 days. And we actually got to witness one of the breeders actually preparing the cattle for the pre-Zenkyo. Happens this year. So they're kind of doing a preparation for the next year, and farmers are preparing the cattle for the event, and they're using the scissors that they use at the hair salon. They have the brush to brush the whole body, and the Wagyu brush that the breeder had cost 1,500 Aussies. Yeah, mine's not that expensive, but they use such a high-end brush. It was a boar hair, but anyway, the level of meticulousness that they prepare for the show, it was amazing. There were 2 cattle for the show, and there were 10 gentlemen around them, and just
and for hours. Like, and we were so fortunate to see it. And that's actually something that I wanted to touch on too. There is a conception with other beef producers and some Wagyu producers as well that Wagyu are actually not that very aesthetically pleasing. Those two heifers, and I've done a lot of showing, I've shown a lot of different cattle as well with different breeds. Those two heifers were the most magnificent, phenotypically correct animals I have ever seen in my life. Wow. Like they were amazing, but even the hair structure, the flow and the pattern through the skin, the pull, to feel the skin, that was something in itself. To see them using sandpaper to rub their hooves and then put that oil on it.
It's like a manicure.
It was 100%, and these beautiful darling heifers. They were tied up with their halters and their nose rings, and they said in there, and these serrated scissors that they were coming through. So it was like different cross sections of cuts and how to square off that tail. And these heifers are just sitting there, and their tongues are just lolling all over them. They were in heaven, and it was so amazing to watch. I could have stayed there all day.
Yeah, which by the way, I filmed the whole thing, and I will probably release that on my YouTube channel, and I'll give you guys a link how they prepare it.
Please. Yes, please.
But wrapping up the Zenkyo, Zenkyo event. So yeah, it's a very big event. Many growers compete within their prefectures as a pre-Zenkyo competition, and those who make it to top 1 to 3 cattle from each prefectures, we have 47 of them, and those top 3 make it to Zenkyo, and it's the Olympics that we have.
Yeah. Is there tasting?
Yeah, there are more than 200 vendors outside. There are sampling venues, actual barbecue spot you pay and eat, and Wagyu here is so accessible. Everything's so reasonable, right, Jesse?
Oh, I want to know about that.
That lunch we had yesterday, those 2 different cuts and a salad and the yakini, what was $35 Australian? So it's like $20, $25 American. So I think for the 2 of us to eat and be, it was just.
Yeah. The only thing I would have to say is that, in our town, there are not much big capacity for hotels. So a lot of people already, looking for hotels in different towns here and there. And I don't know if, let's say the American Wagyu farmers or, European Wagyu farmers, they want to come to Hokkaido, see the event, but, hotels are not bookable in over here. Where are the buses? Where are the trains? And it might be a little bit of a struggle to get there. So, I can't guarantee, just come to Hokkaido and see this event, and you're gonna love it.
Just sleep on the street.
I'm gonna be staying with you, bro.
I'm fine with that.
We're gonna be staying with you.
But that's gonna be the highlight of for the genetics market, carcass market. These events drive the industry too, so it's a very important event for the farmers.
That's so cool, man.
That's what I like about it too. Like he's saying that there's not actually a prize. There's no monetary prize for it. It is literally like a display of what you're doing within your own prefecture.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. Again, the culture side of this is completely different mind frame to Australia and America. It's not financially based. It's about the respect.
Passion.
Passion
driven. I wish the whole world would be passion driven.
We could pay our bills on passion,
We'd be billionaires.
We would, right? Dude, we would. Well, I know, Yuta, you wanted to talk a little bit about the culinary and the preparation of some Wagyu. And before we got on the call, you were talking about a certain salt that you like to use. And I want to talk about that because we got into a big salt conversation. And I think it's super interesting. So why don't you bust that out and show us what you're working with there?
So as a context, Wagyu farmers are raising their level of the meat through the roof, and there's a logistics, abattoir, and people try to keep that highest level of meat and try to bring it to the table. But on a table, there are a few tricks. There are, in fact, many tricks and secrets local chefs here have shared with me. But yeah, let me give you one example. So we have these things called charcoal salt. And this is exactly what we ate last night when we were eating those two different cuts of Wagyu. Anyway, when you put just a sea salt on a meat with it, and when you eat, the sodium from the salt goes into your system first, and Wagyu aroma goes into your system 0.5 seconds later.
Okay.
So that's kind of diluting the flavor of Wagyu, the local chefs were saying. So they found this a charcoal salt. It's a sea salt wrapped in charcoal powder. So when you actually take a bite, you don't feel the sodium right away. It melts in the tongue, and then the sodium kicks into you. So if you put this over Wagyu, the sodium and Wagyu aroma simultaneously goes into your palate. And this is just something to level up the Wagyu flavor.
Dude, Tyler, have you ever heard of that? Have you ever seen that?
I'm still processing.
That's cool, man. That's such a great
It sounds so good because like when you're saying that, I can actually
right? Yeah, you're a chef.
I can almost experience it because I'm like, oh yeah, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
Did it season the Wagyu before, or is it just meat? And then, so when you're using that charcoal, is it just meat? You cook it. You cook the Wagyu. There's no seasoning on it at all, and then you put that on there to finish, and then you can taste the meat, and then the salt hits. Is that the purpose?
Thank you for asking. That's a great question. The way my buddy, who's a chef, prepares it is meticulous. He doesn't put any salt or pepper. He just grilled it on a charcoal and puts the meat on a plate. And since it's black, it's not really beautiful to sprinkle these black things all over the meat. So he just takes this, put it on the side, and we just cut the meat
and
just tap it on the salt and eat it. That's all there is to it. If you want to eat meat alone,
you tap the meat into the salt.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's completely black, as you can see.
Dude.
People have actually laughed at me because I'll actually take a pinch of salt and throw it in my mouth and take a bite of something. They're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" It's perfectly seasoned. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You can do that, or you can just use this, and there's the same effect. That's the thing. And this is just the tip of iceberg I'm sharing with the rest of the world. There are so many more secrets in terms of how to ship the meat without freezing them, releasing the free water. There's free water versus bound water topic, which I can talk hours and hours. How we are actually worsening the meat in a shipping process, right?
Yeah. From processing to actually being on the plate can get down to what we were saying, down to 20% of what its capacity would be.
Yeah, we actually don't want to criticize anybody, so maybe I'll make another podcast or something. I can talk about that.
That's that itself, and it's the science involved in that was mind blowing.
Man, it's just a different game, you know.
I'm pretty sure that we could probably have like 6 or 7 different podcasts.
I know, we're just gonna keep having you on. Everyone's
right here.
It's really gonna
you, bro. What do you need to teach us?
like a series.
Tyler, did you guys use the Sancho pepper?
No. So
I want to ask you about that.
So Sancho is the original Japanese pepper, and it's not a black pepper. It has a similarity to it, but it's got more different flavor profile. And some people love putting real wasabi, Sancho on top of Wagyu, and I just wanted to know if you guys liked it or not.
Hold on, we got it yesterday.
Yep. It's very citrusy. Yeah.
We got it yesterday, and there's actually no English letters on it, Yuta, so I couldn't.
Put it into ChatGPT here.
But when I smelled it, and I don't want to forgive me if I'm wrong, but when I smelled it and kind of tried to take on that aroma, it smelled like almost like a green Szechuan.
Yeah, it's got that little bit of Chinese flavor. Yes, definitely.
Like a fresh, hoppy Szechuan pepper. That's what
Hoppy. That's
Hoppy.
exactly the word.
Citrus. I get a lot of citrus out of it. Floral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
anyway, this is what, Wagyu lovers, aficionados love putting on over black pepper. So yeah, you can advertise that. If you want more of it in your meat shop, I can export that to you guys, and just giving a wide range of things to put on Wagyu, so that the Wagyu is more popular.
I'm gonna crush it up, a little mortar and pestle, and kind of make a little bit of a dusty powder out of it. Or
should we dip it and tap it in there like you tap chocolate salt? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Nice.
I love it.
That sounded very Australian.
That was it. I'm sorry. What'd you say? Australia.
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 Oh man, this is awesome. Well, I want to ask another one about the different regions, the different places here in the world. So let's say I want Jessie to answer for Australia, and we'll answer for the U.S., and Yuta will answer for Japan. So let's say someone has $100 to spend on Wagyu. What would you recommend that they buy from Australia, Jessie?
Why am I going first all the time?
Don't you under the bus?
If I had $100 to spend in Australia on Wagyu, it would be brisket.
I was gonna say brisket. God damn it.
Brisket.
All right, just going whole brisket. Dang, $100. So that's not a very expensive brisket, huh?
Well, that's about 18 pounds.
But I suppose that's what we need to understand too, is that $100 in Australia versus $100 in America and $100 in Japan is going to give you very, very different levels of beef.
Totally.
If I had $1,000 to spend on Wagyu, I would go the tomahawk.
I'd go 10 briskets. So you go tomahawk. Why didn't you get that tomahawk when we were out to dinner at that super place? Remember that? Oh my god! They're like, no, this is not right.
Who's next?
All right, Tyler, you go.
$100.
$100.
Come on,
I'd probably get like a full blood tri-tip.
Oh yeah. Yep. I was gonna say tri-tip. Yep. Man, I would probably spread it around a little bit and get like probably like a full blood bavette and maybe a F1 an F1 skirt. That would be nice.
Skirt's pretty.
And then maybe I would get if I had a little bit left, I'd have to get the Denver Zabuton. I'd probably get like a purebred Zab. Maybe I got like $20 left. I could throw that in there. So.
You know what? Your orders were not very clear, dude. You said $100. I thought we were talking about one cut.
No,
exactly. Spread it out.
You have $100 to spend. You can break it up.
Okay.
$100 to spend, bro.
Don't get all worked up.
Jeez. What about you, Yuta? You got $100 US to spend.
You just put it perfectly for me. So if I had $100, I'm going to a yakiniku store and getting multiple cuts. As we like sushi omakase starts with whitefish, and you go and eat stronger and oilier meat. That's the same thing. That's the same thing that happens in yakiniku store. So I would probably start off with like rutan, loin, hanging tender, or skirt next,
Ooh,
and zabuton, and I'll be finishing with the intestines. I just want to get a Wagyu course of the meat, and that way you just enjoy the crunchiness of the tongue, fat profile of loin, zabuton.
I need to
smell the masculine flavor of the outside skirt, and you finish the experience with a unique texture of intestines. That's what I'm doing.
I need to come and experience the intestine,
Yeah, we need to hang out with you.
dude. Like seriously,
And
that
that's it.
sounds amazing.
Exactly. That's a perfect interpretation of why we need to understand about Japanese beef. That's how you eat it.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
proper way. I mean, yeah, we go eat steak and we love steaks, we love meat, but yeah, proper way for us is, I mean, for at least for yakiniku, we enjoy multiple cuts.
Yeah.
And when we eat sukiyaki, which is the official like celebration food, anniversaries, my family actually eat
Yeah.
sukiyaki on December 31st before New Year Day, and we always eat sukiyaki. That's a big like
It's
loin
gorgeous.
meat.
Yes.
I
It's
myself,
huge. I didn't know that they got that big.
yeah, that's actually one cut, but that's in a hot pot, releasing all the wagyu juice and vegetables, soaking all the juices in, tofu, shiitake, bamboo shoot, everything's observing that, and you enjoy multiple, veggies. So yeah, again, we just have to enjoy a lot of things on one plate. That's kind of our dishes.
And I think that's cool. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're trying to do. I think with our meat shop, like we have a bunch of different cuts. Tyler's bringing in a bunch of different cuts from from all over the cow. In different types of wagyu as well. So we'll have like a purebred top sirloin, wagyu top sirloin in there for like $11. So people can go, let me try that. Let me get like a F1 bavette. Let me get this flat iron over here, and you can kind of like try a lot of the cow and different types of wagyu and get a whole different experience. I think that's what it's really all about. Like it's not just about getting a huge tomahawk every time, and that's what people think, right? I got to spend $300. No, you don't. We've had people come in to spend $40 and get 2-3 cuts and be like, "Wow, I'm cooking this for my family. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be the best meat we've ever had."
I like to call it the Wagyu passport.
Yeah, all over.
So we have sections of front, middle, rear, and cuts on each one. And I go like, you got to try this. Got to try this. Oh, you like that? Okay, we get a stamp.
Yeah.
Next one, okay, we're gonna go center. You're gonna try this. It's like, it's fun for people to actually really trust you as a butcher or a cook and say, this is what you should do. This is how you should cook it, and taste the profiles, and the fat is different in each cut, and it's super fun to even like when people come back and they're like, oh my god, that picanha was amazing. Because I'm usually like a ribeye guy. I'm like, no, you're just a meat guy.
Yeah.
You like meat. So let's travel the map of the cow and taste everything. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love it.
This is funny, dude. Like, it's so funny watching whenever like one of us says a unique cut, there's always somebody else on the podcast going, "Oh yeah, picanha. Oh yeah, bavette." Like we're all just going nuts because there's so many great cuts in a cow. And when it's wagyu, it's all amazing. It tastes so good no matter where you're at, and you're going to get different experiences in different countries. But wagyu is just better beef, and people, however you want to experience it, you should be able to find your own wagyu because there's so many different cuts, so many different types, so many different countries. But it's just better beef, and just freaking please eat it. Why are people not eating more of it? It blows my mind.
But it's not just that the taste of it though either. It's the health benefits. That's the thing that's not being driven, and something that really needs so much more education around is how good it actually is for you. Because so many people say to me, "Oh, there's too much fat. There's it's not good for you. Fat's bad." It's like it's the composition of that fat is completely different to every other bovine, and it is a superfood. It really is.
Yeah, no, you're right, and then we've kind of talked about that a little bit with other people. I mean, I try every podcast, but it is like it's well known, but it's not. Like we all know, but it's like sort of not professionally put together yet. And I can't wait for that moment where like on the news they're gonna be like, "This just in, wagyu beef is actually good for you." Like, that would just like change the whole world. Like, okay, great, here we go. It's freaking awesome.
But that's only when Big Ag buys all the Wagyu ranches in the United States. That's the only. Let's not get political.
Which we don't want that. but yeah, we've got to get that more dialed in so more people do understand that. We got to be realistic with it too.
There's actually a very, very good nutritionist, Indian lady in Australia who's doing a lot of research in that. I probably should get in touch with her, and like, when she speaks about it, like they're still working through it, but yeah, it makes sense as to how much effect Wagyu can have on the body, on the mind,
Wow.
everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, give me that research, please.
Please, yeah, that's amazing.
We
Yes.
want to get this. We want to get it out, man. Oh, dude. So, what are we forgetting about your trip over there in Japan? What do we need to talk about that we haven't hit yet?
I don't know. Like it's just every facet has been fascinating. The cattle themselves are incredible. The people are incredible.
Yeah.
Food, the culture, the way they eat, the way the cattle are fed, the different prefectural lines. One gentleman we saw yesterday, how he's being very very particular and pedantic about keeping prefectural lines separate for future generational development. So that was really interesting for me to understand how Wagyu genetics are designed and how they're implemented and developed over like 5 years to create an animal in 5 years time from now. That's been happening for the last 10 years. So
Right.
there's another gentleman we spoke to who said that I think he's got the number one oleolic bull in Japan, in the world. And I asked him, how long did it genetically take you to create that animal? And he sat for a long time, didn't he?
Like 18 years or so.
18 years to create
Wow.
Jesus.
um, that's I think that's
Man.
the thing that I've found so fascinating over here. It's the level of intricacy and depth and perfectionism. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before.
And Jesse, that's
Wow.
got to be a crazy thing for you to experience because of your expertise and what you're doing and what you're trying to do in the United States, and bring your expertise and let these Angus cattle ranchers know like how you can change their dynamic, change their herd in, you're saying 3 to 5 years, right? And this person's been working on this for 18 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. But farmers are such a hard work over here though. So yeah, you guys are from US, you're from Australia, you are agriculturally gigantic country, okay?
Yeah.
And so is Brazil, so is Germany, Ukraine. You guys have tons of crops, tons of land to feed the cattle. And we don't. Let me give you a little context. Our total land is actually smaller than the state of California. And within the land, 3/4 of it is made up of mountains. So we only have 25% of living area as a valley, but we gotta live, we gotta have offices, we gotta feed ourselves first, and then the rest are for cattle. But we don't have enough feed, so we are heavily dependent on, which I talked about on the last episode, on hay and grass from West Coast. We are importing hay from Oregon, state of Washington, Idaho, Nevada, and California, and that's how we are maintaining these cattle. And because of it, we are not having a large farming at scale. In fact, it's smaller farm. We have to protect these farmers. That's why co-op is very big in our country. In fact, a lot of genetics companies over here are the subsidy of co-op, and they're making these genetics available at a reasonable cost for everyone. So it's kind of a serendipity that we were forced to do farming in such a way, and therefore there's a division of labor: breeding farm, rearing farm, and feedlot. 3 stages. Not a lot of successful integrated farms. So, because the sparsity of the land, we are actually having just focus on one thing, one piece of operation.
There's such
That's
a
why
beauty in
genetic
Yeah.
There's such
improvement.
beauty in it. It's one to do with the culture. It's one to do with your neighbors. Like, my gosh, that it just sounds magical to me.
So yeah, farmers have hard work, man. They have like 7 days a week
Oh,
work, and
I think we lost you
sometimes
guys for a sec.
lucrative. But you guys have much more land, much more innovative, infrastructure for you guys.
Mhm.
It is amazing how much, just like you said, land and climate and just geography makes such a big difference with raising these cattle and lifestyle and ranching in general. That's why we get different wagyu in different countries. It's really just, it is about the land, and it has to be so particular and precise in Japan because you don't have all that space to be able to you know raise thousands and thousands of cattle at once here. It's very got to be very meticulous and particular
Yeah.
about what you do to get some of the best wagyu in the world.
And that's why Wagyu is what it is. That's exactly the reason why. Is because it's so intricate. That's being perfectionist on a very small scale over centuries.
Yeah.
That's exactly why Wagyu is the way it is.
Now, we ended up having such a rich abundance of uniqueness all over the country. Now there's a new type of businesses that's happening in the Wagyu world. So the restaurant chains started by Wagyu farms now.
Ooh.
And this particular gentleman in Northern Mainland, he has a reverse engineering farm, I call. So basically, they have the order for the meat, and they have the purpose, whether it's a steak, red meat, or yakiniku, A5, A4-ish quality, and they just reverse engineer that at the farm, starting at looking at genetics. Okay, we're gonna buy meat for a steak, and picking the genetics. Sometimes it's grazed. The other time it's in a feedlot, crop feeding, grass fed. They just take the best approaches through the lines or through the lives of cattle and providing the best meat for that purpose.
Really, it's they're just trying to do it the reverse way now, like just trying everything to just create an experience that they can really control and create and make it amazing, right?
Yeah, for multiple different cuts and purposes that they have in the restaurant chain. So I think there's no end to genetic improvements and management improvements.
The limit does not exist.
But
It's crazy.
that's for global. Yeah, we're saying that for global market. There's no end for Aussie Wagyu breeding and American Wagyu. It's just gonna keep getting better and getting better. And
So freaking
I love it. I love it. And people are just gonna just be eating better beef here really soon. Really soon. Really soon.
you guys have a very big meat culture. I mean, I've lived in the States. You guys eat steaks, burgers. It's just the amount of burgers and fries you guys eat throughout the year. It's amazing. You guys
you
consume
beef.
so much burger.
You want me to look real quick and tell you how many burgers we sold tonight so far?
Yeah, how
Wagyu
many?
burgers.
Wagyu burgers.
Wow.
About 85 doubles and 60 singles.
Yeah.
We've been open for
A couple hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, only a couple hours. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good day. Pretty good day so far, huh? Jeez.
Not bad.
Man. Well, this has been pretty awesome to kind of experience, to talk to you, Yuta, again, and to experience with Jessie being there and everything that you guys have done together, and just to really explain to us a little more about the Japanese culture, Japanese Wagyu,
So good.
and really bring it all together. I like, Jesse, how you said that's why Wagyu is what it is, because of the geography, because of the particular way it's been raised and the culture, and it really is why we have it today, all over the U.S. and all over the world, I should say. And I think it's such a great story. And I do got to make a correction, because Yuta, last time I talked to you, I said that in the 70s that Wagyu was brought to the U.S. because everybody knows the story in the 90s, but it was brought here in the 70s, and I said that it was illegally brought here And because that's the story that I had been told, I did not know, but actually, no, it was legally exported from Japan by Dr. John Matsushima, and I'm going to have him and his daughter and her husband on the podcast in a couple of weeks and get that full story of him working with Japan and the United States in the 60s and 70s, and actually legally exporting 4 bulls, 2 black and 2 Akaushi, I believe, into the United States in the 70s. So that'll be a cool story to follow up on, and I'll give you all the details once I talk to them. We may have to wrap it up, but I think that might be a good way to wrap it up. Let's do it. Hey, good job, guys. I can't hear you, but we'll wrap it up, and we'll be on the phone. We'll talk soon. We'll get all this rocked out, but this was awesome, man. Tyler, good job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Jesse, get home safe.